It starts quietly. You rub your eyes, thinking the blur will fade. But it doesn't. The world seems softer now. Words on a page, faces in the mirror, the colors of dawn, all losing their edge. You tell yourself it's just age. Yet deep down, a whisper asks, what if it doesn't come back? Millions over 60 face this same silent fear. But here's the truth no one tells you. Your vision isn't dying, it's starving. And the food that can save it isn't locked in a lab or sold in a bottle, it's growing on trees, waiting in your kitchen. 4 simple nuts, eaten before bed, could feed your eyes what time has stolen. Stay till the end, because the last one might just bring your world back into focus, the way you remember it. For years, we've blamed age for fading vision. But scientists now know it's not just time. It's what time takes away. Antioxidants, circulation, and the nutrients your eyes depend on to turn light into sight. Behind every blurred page or dim sunset is a body begging for repair. These 4 nuts don't just nourish, they restore. They calm inflammation, repair the retina, and wake sleeping cells back to life. Tonight, we uncover how something as ordinary as a handful of nuts can perform what medicine forgot, a natural reawakening of your vision. Every night, while you sleep, your body performs silent miracles. Cells repair, blood flows slower, deeper, wiser. But for many over 60, the body is missing the tools it needs to rebuild. It's like trying to fix a masterpiece with no paint left on the brush. These 4 nuts change that. Their oils, antioxidants, and natural melatonin work in harmony with your body's clock, feeding your eyes exactly when they crave repair the most, in the quiet hours before dawn. It's not just what you eat. It's when you eat that rewrites your story. The first nut, the guardian of light. The first nut stands guard over your sight like a faithful protector. Inside its thin brown shell lives a reservoir of vitamin E, the shield your eyes have been begging for. It strengthens tiny blood vessels behind the retina, preventing the slow suffocation that dims vision over time. It defends your cornea against the fire of oxidation, the very thing that clouds your lens. And as you drift to sleep, its nutrients circulate like sentinels in the dark, rebuilding, restoring, renewing. A single handful can become the difference between seeing shadows and seeing clearly. For decades, we've trusted pills and drops to save our eyes, yet overlooked what was already saving us: food. Nature doesn't scream her secrets. She whispers them through simplicity. The nut you crack open tonight carries the same compounds found in the most advanced eye supplements. Except here, they're pure, alive, and whole. The vitamin E clears oxidation. The omega fatty acids smooth blood flow. The antioxidants awaken tired cells. One simple choice before bed, one handful of what the earth has always offered, can begin the silent work of restoring what you thought was lost. The second nut, the healer of circulation. Your eyes are oceans of light, fed by rivers of blood. Over time, those rivers slow, stiffened by years of stress, sugar, and silence. The second nut reawakens that flow, rich in magnesium and L-arginine. It widens the capillaries behind your retina, bringing oxygen where there was once fatigue. It relaxes the tension inside your eyes, easing the pressure that blurs the world. Seniors who eat it before bed often describe mornings that feel reborn, eyes open to colors they thought they'd forgotten. This nut doesn't just nourish the eye, it teaches it how to breathe again. Vision is motion, not just of light, but of life. Every glance depends on billions of cells dancing to the rhythm of your heartbeat. When that rhythm weakens, the eyes grow weary. But circulation is not lost forever. These nutrients reignite that pulse, delivering energy to the rods and cones that shape your perception as blood moves freely. Clarity returns, reading feels easier. Driving at night feels safer. And slowly, your world sharpens back into focus. While the world sleeps, your body writes its own story of renewal. The oils from these nuts travel deep into the microchannels of your eyes, carrying omega-3s and vitamin A, 2 of the most potent fuels for regeneration. Every blink you take the next morning becomes smoother, every beam of light less harsh. This is the quiet miracle of night nutrition, invisible but undeniable for those who stay consistent. The difference isn't measured in days, but in mornings that no longer blur. The third nut, the protector of vision. It's small, humble, and shaped like a tiny brain, Perhaps that's no coincidence. The third nut is rich in alpha-linolenic acid, a plant-based omega-3 that shields your retina from inflammation. It fights the slow fire that burns unseen, protecting your macula, the heart of your vision. Every night, it lowers the silent stress that steals sharpness and color. Those who add it to their bedtime ritual often describe seeing dawn in a new way, not brighter, but deeper, as if the world itself came back into focus. Your eyes are storytellers. They've witnessed laughter, loss, sunrise, and rain. Yet behind every wrinkle lies a truth. You've earned every moment you've seen. These nuts don't promise youth. They promise clarity. They return what time has faded. The ability to see your life, your loved ones, and your world clearly once more. And as you rest each night, nature continues her patient work, turning nourishment into renewal and renewal into vision. Because healing isn't something you chase, it's something you feed. Every day, unseen and unspoken, oxidation burns within us. It doesn't roar, it whispers, soft and steady, wearing down the walls of our cells. In the eyes, this quiet fire clouds the lens, steals the glow from your mornings, and dims your world one layer at a time. But nature has its firefighters, antioxidants. And in these four nuts, they come in abundance. Vitamin E, selenium, and zinc sweep through your bloodstream like rain on dry earth, cooling the inflammation that steals your sight. Over time, the flame weakens, the fog lifts, and the world returns in color. The fourth nut, the restorer of clarity. It's rare, earthy, and powerful. The fourth nut is the crown jewel of sight restoration. Containing the richest source of selenium found in nature, it fuels the production of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant. This is the molecule that detoxifies your eyes, removes damaged proteins, and keeps your lens clear. Just one or two of these nuts before bed can shift the balance from decline to repair. It doesn't act with noise or drama. It works in silence, night after night, teaching your eyes how to cleanse themselves again. Something miraculous happens when these four nuts unite. Their nutrients, magnesium, selenium, vitamin E, omega-3s, don't compete, they collaborate. Together, they form a cycle of restoration that supports every part of your visual system. Almonds build structure, pistachios move blood, walnuts calm inflammation, Brazil nuts restore clarity. It's a symphony, and your body is the conductor. When harmony returns, sight sharpens, fatigue fades, and the simple act of opening your eyes feels like a gift once more. Healing doesn't need a doctor's script. It needs a ritual. A small handful of these nuts, slow chews, mindful breaths, 30 minutes before sleep. That's all. Each bite releases the oils that lubricate your eyes, the minerals that rebuild your lens, and the antioxidants that sweep the damage away. Some nights, you'll feel nothing. Others, you'll wake with eyes that sting a little less, focus a little faster. Consistency turns this into transformation. You're not feeding your stomach, you're feeding your sight. Once, our ancestors didn't separate food from medicine. They knew that what you ate decided how you lived, how you healed, and even how you saw. Somewhere along the way, we forgot. We reached for pills, forgot patience, and ignored the whispers of the earth. But every almond, every walnut, every nut still speaks that ancient language, one of healing and renewal. And when you listen, your body remembers how to respond. What doctors call recovery, nature calls remembering. The first sign of change is always subtle. One morning, you wake before dawn and realize the shadows in your room look sharper. The outline of your window, once hazy, feels distinct again. You blink twice, unsure if it's real. But it is. Your body has begun to remember clarity. Every night, as the nutrients move through your blood, tiny capillaries behind your eyes reawaken. Oxygen returns. The fog lifts, little by little. It's not a miracle. It's biology, finally receiving what it needed all along. Behind this quiet recovery lies something extraordinary. Research from leading universities confirms that diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin E, and selenium slow, and even reverse, oxidative damage in aging eyes. These compounds rebuild the delicate photoreceptors responsible for sharpness and color. In just weeks, consistent nourishment can improve contrast sensitivity and reduce glare. It's not about fixing the eyes, It's about giving them the building blocks to fix themselves. And nature, when trusted, always knows what to do. When you sleep, the eyes rest, but their work doesn't stop. Your pupils shrink, your tear glands release protective oils, and your cells repair the damage of the day. The nutrients from these nuts align with your circadian rhythm, maximizing the body's natural repair window. Magnesium calms your nerves, melatonin deepens rest, and your eyes heal faster in peace. That's why the ritual matters, not during the day, but before the stillness of night, when the world quiets and your body begins to whisper, "Now, I can heal." Your eyes don't just let you see the world. They let the world see you. When clarity fades, confidence often fades with it. But when your vision begins to return, something else awakens inside: hope. You start to smile again at small things: sunlight through a curtain, the details of your grandchild's face, the shimmer of evening lights on a quiet street. It's not vanity, it's victory. For the first time in a long time, you're not just looking, you're seeing. Modern science has only begun to understand what nature perfected long ago. The eyes are the only organs that let you witness your own healing, to see the results of nourishment. Clinical studies now show that combining vitamin E from almonds, omega-3s from walnuts, and selenium from Brazil nuts can enhance retinal function by up to 30%. But statistics only tell half the story. The other half is personal, the tear that falls the morning you realize the blur is gone. Because sometimes the proof isn't in data, it's in the miracle reflected back at you. Healing rarely announces itself. It arrives like dawn, quietly, faithfully. The blur softens, then fades. You no longer squint to read or hesitate at night. The eyes, once heavy and tired, begin to feel light again. This is the body's way of saying thank you. What once felt like decline is now reversal, a slow, graceful turning back of time. These 4 nuts don't just feed your eyes, they remind your body of what it's capable of. Because aging was never a curse, only a call to listen closer. The greatest secrets are never complicated. For nuts, a handful each night. That's it. No prescription, no miracle drug, just patience and nature's rhythm. We spend years searching for cures in laboratories, while the answers grow silently on trees. When you eat with purpose, your food becomes language, speaking healing into your cells. It doesn't take wealth or youth to see clearly again. It takes consistency, gratitude, and belief in what your body can still do. Restoration doesn't happen overnight. It comes from devotion, small choices repeated faithfully. One night becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. And one morning, you wake to a world reborn in color. Patience isn't waiting, it's trusting. Every handful before bed is a conversation between you and your body, a promise that you still believe in its power to heal. And when that belief is steady, clarity is inevitable. You'll know it's working the moment sunlight stops hurting your eyes. When reading no longer strains, when night driving feels safe again, when the stars look sharp instead of smudged, that's when you'll understand. Healing has already begun. You didn't need a miracle. You needed nourishment. You didn't need new eyes. You needed to remember how to care for the ones you already have. And as your sight clears, so does your spirit. The world becomes vivid again, not because it changed, but because you did. And so we end where we began, with light. But this time, it's brighter. You no longer fear losing what time once took. You've reclaimed it, 1 handful at a time. Every almond, every walnut, every pistachio, every Brazil nut. They've rewritten your story in silence, one night after another. So before you close your eyes, feed them one last time tonight as you rest. Know this: clarity is not a gift from youth, but a reward for those who still believe in renewal. Then sleep and wake to a clearer, kinder world. If this story touched you, share it with someone you love, because sometimes all it takes to see again is a reminder of what nature has never stopped offering.